All right, so let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way first. Yes, Baltimore, you got fucked with that call. All right. I mean, the thing is, I have no idea what a catch is in the NFL anymore. I mean, we all saw it. We all know what happened. I mean, it's been on blast for like what the past 18 hours or so. You know, Isaiah Likely catches a pass in the end zone from Lamar Jackson. Steelers had a 27-22 lead. Ultimately ended up being the final score, but Isaiah Likely caught a pass in the end zone for a touchdown, or so we thought. So the elements of a catch here, all right. Number one, you have to catch the ball, obviously, but maintain control of it. Okay, he did that. That's a check. Check one. Check two. Two or more, at least 2 feet in bounds and 2 feet moving forward to establish yourself as a runner while you have the ball and you maintain control. Check. Step two. And step three, you have to make a football move while maintaining control of the ball and both feet are in bounds, which is what Isaiah Likely was doing. Because, like, I didn't see the ball moving. I didn't see the ball I didn't see, like, the ball fumbling while it was in his hands. I mean, yeah, JPJ knocked the ball out of his hands, but that was after Isaiah Likely constituted all three of those things. So I just don't know how that's not a touchdown. Even when I saw the replay, because, like, all scoring plays are reviewed, even when I saw the replay and the very many things that was constituting that, I for sure thought that was going to stand, and then it would be crunch time for the Steelers, and it'd be crunch time for Aaron Rodgers. We'd be trailing for the first time in the game. But no, they called it an incomplete pass, and they say it was because he needed a third foot down. Like, since when do you need 3 feet down to in order for it to be a catch? I don't I just don't know how the NFL constitutes catches anymore. I don't. Before it was you need 2 feet down and control the ball in a football move. Like, what were they looking at? Where did he not make a football move? I just whatever, man. I will never understand the NFL. I will never understand the NFL. I will never understand the rules. I will never understand what a catch is in the NFL anymore nowadays. I mean, like I said, yeah, ball got batted out of his hand, but to me it looked like it got batted out after Isaiah Likely did all the things that constituted it being a catch and a touchdown reception. But whatever, you know, not going to sit down here and complain about it. It's just, in my opinion, it's just, yes, in my opinion, I may hate the Ravens, yeah, but as a football fan, to me, that's a catch. Same regard as Jesse James. That was a catch. You know, and all you Ravens fans that are complaining about the catch, speaking of Jesse James, for all you Ravens fans that are complaining about that, okay, I don't want to hear shit. I really don't. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care if this makes you upset, okay? I don't care. Because how many of you Ravens fans were defending the Jesse James ruling? How many of you were defending that? Huh? Shoes on the other foot now. Feel our pain. Welcome to the NFL. Every team gets screwed out of a big play at some point. That's football. All right? Anyway, I'm not impressed with this win. Okay? Because, like I've been saying for weeks on end now, basically all a win does for this team is just that it ensures that Tomlin's just going to stay here, man, and they're not going to do anything as far as coaching staff goes. It's like, oh, we got the win. Oh, we're fine. We don't have to make any changes. I didn't really see the only change I really saw in this game is that the Steelers went for more of a passing attack in this game, and it showed because Aaron Rodgers put together a nice game. You know, he threw for like 284 yards or something like that. Almost a 300 yard passing game. He threw a touchdown pass as well. DK Metcalf absolutely went off in this game. Finally, I mean, we finally see DK Metcalf have just a great game. Something that's been missing all season. Well, for the majority of the season for DK, I'd say it's his best game since like week 4 with that Vikings game in Ireland. So it's about time DK Metcalf did something, man. You know, it's funny because all of November the Steelers did not complete a pass beyond 20 yards all of November, and they had 4 in this game. So definitely it was a pass happy day for Aaron Rodgers. It was a pass happy day for the Steelers. Didn't see the Steelers run the ball a ton in this game. I mean, Jalen Warren had like under 10 carries in the entire game, and you know, this is just something that I just don't understand about the offense because remember last week against the Bills, before the second half started, Tomlin was being asked on the sidelines about the offense and about the flow of the game. Oh, well, we're not running the ball effectively. Oh, you know, we're not picking up yards on the ground yet. You have Jalen Warren have under 10 carries the entire game. Look, there's a fine line between having Aaron Rodgers win you this game, but also having a balanced attack on offense. And I just did not see a balanced attack on offense. I mean, the Steelers only had 17 total carries of running the entire game. 17. And Jalen Warren had like under half of it. They had, Aaron Rodgers actually ran in for a touchdown in this game. I don't know how the Baltimore Ravens and that elite defense allow a 42-year-old to run in for a touchdown on a QB keeper. I don't know how that happens. Kenneth Gainwell ran in for a touchdown as well, but that was after another ticky-tacky call. So, I mean, look, man, if I just sit down here and just dissect every bad call by the officiating or every sketchy call by the officiating, okay, there isn't even going to be a recap. It's just going to be a football fan who is just nitpicking and just telling you about how the officiating sucks, okay? I'm just telling you about how this win just does nothing for the Steelers other than just put them back in first place, and it's just prolonging their impending result of the season if this holds out, which is going to be getting KO'd in the wild card, man. Because we're the fourth seed now as it stands. We're 7-6. We're the fourth seed in the AFC right now because our division sucks. This division is absolutely awful. Like, Baltimore's had a bad year all year this year. They're 6-7 on the year. As a matter of fact, I'm not really impressed with the AFC all that much this year in general. You know, I'm really not. I think the NFC wins the Super Bowl this year, unless someone in the AFC just pulls a complete rabbit out of their hat and walks away with it. But like, yeah, you look at the AFC in general. New England, they're the. I think New England is still the first seed right now. Could be Denver because they won. I don't know, but New England's been the one seed the majority of the season. They're 11-2. I really don't know if the Patriots are a true Super Bowl contender. They're a very good team, but I don't know if they're a true Super Bowl contender. The Denver Broncos, they're 11-2. Again, same regard as New England, 11-2. Great team. Don't know if they're a true Super Bowl contender. Jacksonville, they've had a phenomenal season, but they need to prove something to me. And then you got us, who are the fourth seed. I don't need to tell you how this team is. I think we win this division by complete default because the division sucks. Rest of the division, Baltimore has just been bad all year. Cincinnati is terrible. They're good offensively, but their defense is historically awful. And then you got the Browns, who are just going to be the fucking Browns. They lost to Tennessee. I don't know how they lose to the Titans, but yeah, that's all this win does is just prolong the fact that the Steelers are not a very good team. and they're only winning this division because they benefit from a weak division. Our opponent in the wild card right now would be Buffalo. We would have to host the Bills again. Do I need to remind you about when the Bills came to Pittsburgh last week? That embarrassment? Do you really want to see that in the wild card? Well, that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get. Anyway, getting on back to this game. I know I got sidetracked, but getting on back to this game. It was just a predictable offense, man. Pass heavy day all day, barely any carries on the ground. I think the one play that really just summarized this game in whole was that touchdown pass to Jalen Warren where Aaron Rodgers just pretty much found him in the flat. And you could see it. The Ravens had a blitz ready. They came out pretty much on an all-out safety blitz. They were just ready to pounce on Rodgers on that play. And Rodgers, he had Pat Freiermuth open, which could have been a first down. But no, Rodgers found his second read, and Warren, wide open there. Nobody covering him. Took it all the way for a touchdown on third down. I still think that this team isn't aggressive enough. I mean, you have a lead in the fourth quarter, an opportunity to basically put the game away after that no touchdown call. You get aggressive right there. The play calling gets lazy, and you only get like 3 yards on 9 plays. You mean to tell me that's a formula for an aggressive offense, and that's the type of offense that you're going to bring into a playoff game? Yes, I get it. You got the lead, but you know what? You can't take your foot off the pedal at any point in the entire game. And don't say it's because Baltimore's defense stepped up in the final phases and they outplayed us. Ravens did not look good on defense all day. They couldn't stop the pass attack. And yet you go for short passes and dinks and dunks, and you get lazy with your game plan because you have a lead, and just because the life got sucked out of the Ravens because of a shit call by the officials. Come on, man. You see, this is why I'm not even pumped up about this win. Because all a win is for me now as a Steeler fan, until this coaching staff either changes or gets out of here. I'd prefer the latter. I don't need to tell you that. All a win does for me is that it just adds a number in the W column. I'm not sitting down here saying, well, take this win and do this against Miami next Monday night. Take this win and do this for the rest of the season. No, I ain't saying any of that. Because if there's one thing that I've conditioned myself to do, it's to not get ahead of myself, and it's to not expect anything different until I see change with this team, man. You know? You couldn't close the game out. You needed a sack in the final seconds by Alex Highsmith to win the game. You needed the life to get sucked out. It's just a typical we won the game but, a typical but after the win. And I've seen this for how many years with this team? How many years after basically I would say since 2020. The only difference is in 2020 was that I was actually excited about the wins because, believe it or not, back then I actually had renewed confidence in Mike Tomlin. I did. I was one of those people back then, okay? I had renewed confidence in him back in 2020 because the Steelers narrowly missed the playoffs in 2019 when Big Ben was out for basically the whole season. But see, that's kind of like the conundrum with Tomlin. It's that, if he didn't collapse in that season, then the Steelers would have made the playoffs. But they went 8-8 despite Ben being out for the whole season. And that made me think, well, you know what? Maybe we can win with Tomlin. Maybe he is able because the defense looks good and Big Ben was out for the whole year. I think any other team would have had a terrible season. But you see that's like the conundrum with Tomlin. It's like if he doesn't collapse in December again, then we wouldn't have been in that situation. You know? But yeah, basically what I was saying is in 2020 I had renewed faith in him. Little bit of renewed faith, not a ton of faith. I was still pretty pissed off about 2017 and 18, but I had a little renewed faith in him back then, and the Steelers were pulling off wins because Ben was back and the defense was playing great. But then they collapse again, and then the playoff, and then the atrocity in the wild card against Cleveland at home. That was the one that made me want Tomlin gone, and ever since then, basically the Steelers have been winning in this kind of fashion. They need a splash play on defense. They need big. They need big plays on. They need big splash plays on offense to win it. They need a defensive stop to win it. That's basically how the Steelers have been winning for the past 4 or 5 years now. It's just not sustainable in today's league. I mean, if you take a look at Lamar Jackson, he had a good passing day today, minus the interception that he threw. He had a good game. I mean, the one sequence that I didn't like at all is when Zay Flowers was wide open all game, especially on that little crosser late in the game where he was left wide open. I mean, how is this team how is this team continuing to make the same mistakes defensively where you're playing soft zone defense and no one's covering their guys? It reminded me a lot of the first Bengals game when it reminded me a lot of the first Bengals game and the Packers game on Sunday night earlier in the year, where Jamar Chase just tore this team a new asshole on Thursday night, and Tucker Kraft went off on the Steelers in back-to-back weeks where no one was covering those guys. And they did the same thing with Zay Flowers. Secondary was completely out of play. I didn't see any change defensively other than a slightly improved pass rush, making Lamar feel the heat, sacking him. That's really the only change I saw defensively was the front seven. I saw no change in the secondary. I saw no change, no new kind of play with the pass rush. They still got dissected. And then our strength. If there's one thing that did piss me off about this game, it's that how many weeks in a row have I been saying our strength and conditioning coach needs to get the fuck out of here? How many injuries did the Steelers have in this game? I honestly lost count like after the third injury. I'm not kidding. The Steelers had that many injuries in this game. Darnell Washington got concussed in this game. That's a massive loss if he has to miss time and he doesn't pass protocol. That's a massive loss right there. Credit to Muth, he did step up, but we cannot lose Darnell Washington if he does not pass concussion protocol. He's been our best blocker all year. So Darnell Washington gets a concussion. Andres Pete, concussion. Dylan Cook had to come in and play because Broderick Jones is out for the rest of the year. Who the hell is Dylan Cook? I didn't even know who this dude even was. So that sucks for the O-line. Malik Harrison, concussed in the game. Vicious injury for him. Hope he's okay, but he got concussed. Brandon Eccles got a concussion. Alex Highsmith, Patrick Queen, Keanu Benton, they all got banged up, but they eventually came back in. Like, how does this team keep getting all these injuries, man? How? How do they keep getting all these injuries? What is this strength and conditioning coach practicing these guys at practice? I don't know. I really don't know. This team is soft. This team needs to toughen up and get a new strength and conditioning coach. That's for sure. I'm sick of this team getting like 3 or 4 injuries, maybe even more, every single game, okay? You can say I'm cherry picking, you could say I'm nitpicking, but guess what? It's true. Everything that I'm telling you is true, all right? Yes, you can say I'm nitpicking, you can say I'm cherry picking, but it's still true. All right, the fact that I can cherry pick it and nitpick it says a lot about this team. So yeah, we're 7-6. The AFC, I'm just telling you, man, the AFC is absolute garbage. It's very underwhelming, especially the AFC North. Because, you take a look at the rest of the wild cards. I mean, Buffalo's the top wild card right now. They're playing great football. Like I said earlier, they would be the team that we would go up against in the playoffs if the playoffs began today. So, yeah, that's not going to be pretty. Um, the Indianapolis, the Chargers, they're playing really good. I think they're the sixth seed as of right now. And then the seventh seed is a complete toss up right now because the Colts currently own it, but Indianapolis, I think their season ended yesterday because Daniel Jones tore his Achilles and he's out for the rest of the season. That really sucks for the Colts. I don't think Indy's making it now. I was calling them the best team in the NFL about a month ago, and now I think that just sunk their season right there. So yeah, Indy, they have it for the time being, but Houston's on a roll. They've won, I think, what, five in a row? Houston is playing phenomenal right now, but I think Houston is at most a divisional round exit because we know they can't get past the second round of the playoffs. And then you got a bunch of 6 and 7 teams in there like Baltimore and Miami that, like, yeah, they could make it, but what do you think they're going to do with it? I mean, the AFC is just so underwhelming. And this team just has the lead in the North by complete default because this division sucks, man. It really does. I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm not saying that because I just like hearing myself talk. I'm just saying it because that's the truth. I am not impressed with the AFC at all. I am not impressed with how the AFC has been, especially Kansas City. The Chiefs are 6 and 7. I think their title run is done. Yeah, I'm saying that about Kansas City. I think their title run is done. They're 6 and 7. All year I've defended Kansas City, and then they just get dominated at home by the Houston Texans last night. So yeah, that's your recap, man. Very, let's say, meh win for the Steelers. Like I said, I'm not impressed. I'm really not. Because, like I said, this team has to do a complete 180 to win my trust back. I'm not falling for it. I am not getting on board with it. I'm just telling you how it is and how I feel. Very meh win for the Pittsburgh Steelers if I had to put anything like that. Still stand by my statement. They got to do a complete 180 to complete win my trust back. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. Maybe I'll come on here and recap the Dolphins game next week, but we'll go from there and have a good one, everybody.